The air was alive with tension as two warriors prepared to meet under the bright lights. On one side stood Carlos Cuadras, Mexico's proud stylist, a fighter known for his relentless combinations, sharp angles, and fearless aggression. On the other stood Román Chocolatito González, the Nicaraguan legend, a man already carving his name into boxing history with relentless pressure, dazzling technique, and an iron will. This wasn't just another fight. It was a collision of styles, a collision of nations, a collision of legacies. Cuadras entered with confidence, a man eager to prove that his heart and volume punching could outshine the precision of Chocolatito. His eyes burned with determination, knowing the world was watching, knowing that this was his chance to cement himself as a true Mexican warrior in the history books. Across from him, Chocolatito stood calm, composed, yet dangerous. He had nothing to prove, but everything to protect. His legacy, his reputation, his place among tea. The crowd roared as the first bell echoed, and instantly the suspense thickened. From the opening moments, Cuadras fired combinations, his gloves a blur as he attacked from every angle. But Chocolatito, unfazed, stepped forward, slipping punches, closing the distance with the patience of a hunter. His counters landed with thudding accuracy, each shot reminding Cuadras that he was in the ring with one of boxing's finest. It wasn't just speed, it wasn't just skill, it was something deeper, an intensity that made every exchange feel like the fight could turn in a heartbeat. The Mexican crowd screamed with every Cuadras flurry. The Nicaraguan faithful responded with every González counter. This wasn't just the start of a fight, it was the opening chapter of a war. As the second and third rounds unfolded, the fight began to reveal its true character. Cuadras, relentless and proud, unleashed combinations in torrents, punches from every angle, sharp jabs followed by hooks that whipped through the air. His footwork was frantic yet purposeful, circling, darting, trying to keep Chocolatito at bay. For a moment, it looked as if Cuadras had cracked the code, overwhelming the Nicaraguan legend with sheer volume. But Chocolatito was no ordinary opponent. Where others panicked under Cuadras' storm, González thrived. He walked forward with unshakable calm, his high guard absorbing shots, his subtle slips creating windows. Then, like a hammer striking an anvil, his punches came, short hooks, blistering uppercuts, body shots that thudded with authority. Each landed with precision, each one pushing Cuadras closer to the ropes. The crowd could feel the shift. Every Cuadras flurry drew cheers, but every González counter drew gasps. The suspense was unbearable. Could Cuadras keep up this frenetic pace? Or would Chocolatito's relentless pressure slowly drown him? Midway through the fourth, Cuadras tried to re-establish control, digging hooks into Chocolatito's ribs. He fought with the courage of a man unwilling to back down. Yet González responded with a brutal combination upstairs, snapping Cuadras' head back, forcing him into retreat. By the end of the round, sweat and grit painted their faces, the sound of leather cracking against flesh echoing like drumbeats. Neither man had yielded, but it was clear the fight was only heating up, and in that heat, one would either break or rise. By the middle rounds, the battle had turned into a war of attrition. Cuadras was still throwing in bunches, his Mexican spirit on full display. His fists moved like pistons, 3, 4, sometimes 5 shots at a time. He dug to the body, whipped hooks upstairs, and even smiled as punches landed, daring Chocolatito to give him more. Chocolatito obliged, and when he did, it was terrifying. He closed the distance with expert timing, his punches compact, efficient, devastating. He didn't need 5 shots, 2 or 3 were enough, each one sharp, each one landing clean. The suspense of every exchange gripped the audience. Cuadras threw with volume, but González threw with precision. Which would prevail? Round 6 brought one of the fight's most intense moments. Cuadras launched a furious barrage, backing González into the ropes. The Mexican crowd erupted, sensing their hero was taking control. But just as momentum shifted, Chocolatito fired back with a vicious uppercut, followed by a hook that silenced the roar into stunned gasps. Both men stood toe-to-toe, trading fire until the bell, their chests heaving, their eyes blazing. It was boxing at its purest, two warriors refusing to yield, each round writing new suspense into the story. By the championship rounds, fatigue began to seep into Cuadras' movements. His hands still fired, but the sting wasn't the same. His footwork slowed, his rhythm broken. The relentless storm he had unleashed earlier now came in waves, and between those waves, Chocolatito struck. González smelled blood. His punches landed with ruthless precision, hooks to the body that sank deep, combinations upstairs that snapped Cuadras' head back. Still, Cuadras refused to break. With the pride of Mexico in his chest, he answered every assault with flurries of his own, his courage keeping him alive in moments that would have ended others. But the suspense lay in the inevitable. How long could he endure? Every second of every round carried the same question. Would Cuadras withstand the avalanche, or would Chocolatito's brilliance carve him down completely? The crowd was torn, half screaming for Cuadras' defiance, half in awe of González' mastery. The fight wasn't just about punches anymore. It was about heart, resilience, and legacy. The final rounds were nothing short of breathtaking. Both men were exhausted, their faces swollen, their bodies bruised, but neither dared to give an inch. Cuadras, battered but unbroken, fought with the pride of a warrior carrying an entire nation's heart. His flurries came slower now, but still he threw, still he tried. Chocolatito, however, was unstoppable. He pressed forward with merciless consistency, his punches crisp, his timing flawless. His body shots drained what little strength Cuadras had left, while his uppercuts and hooks landed like thunder. Each strike felt like a statement, each one sealing his control of the fight. Yet even as the final seconds ticked away, Cuadras stood tall. He refused to fall, refused to quit, even as González's dominance became undeniable. The bell rang and the two warriors embraced, bloodied, battered, but united by the kind of respect only war inside the ring can create. When the decision was announced, Román Chocolatito González's hand was raised, the crowd erupting in a mix of cheers and admiration. He had delivered another masterpiece, another night of brilliance, another reason why his name belongs among the legends. But Cuadras too had written his chapter. He had given everything, left nothing behind, and fought with a heart that made the world remember his name. It was more than a fight. It was a story of heart, will, and greatness etched forever in the annals of boxing.